Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and in this video I wanted to do an unboxing, but more so just talk about the experience of using the AlexaPure Pro water filtration system. This is my first set of replacement filters, the charcoal or the ceramic. I don't know if there's charcoal, but they're ceramic anyway, filters. They do an excellent job. We were a Brita family growing up, so I'm very glad I didn't grow up on tap water, especially when I look at the world around me. It really, I can see a difference. But Brita water tastes a whole lot better than tap water. But then just after knowing all the stuff that's in the water and everything, I decided for the money, the AlexaPure Pro, I think the system's like a little over $200 with that stainless steel setup. And then these filters are actually a little more expensive. But compared to Brita's, I mean, I think a 4-pack's like $20 or so, and they don't last near as long. You got to change them every couple of months. You're paying a little bit more, maybe like twice when you could factor in at least how long mine lasted. But the water, like, there's zero taste to the water. It's like perfectly, I guess that's how water was intended to be. It's just so much better. So, with that being said, let me look here. It says August 14th, 2020 was when I set this up, and this is January 2023. So we're about slightly under 2.5 years, and these are the other ones. They just don't work anymore. For me, it happened really suddenly. So there's really not too much to show here. These are again the most expensive part, but since you can use up to 4. I use 2. You can see these are really well packaged too. I got these from My Patriot Supply. They ship out, like usually they try to do it the next day, and comes pretty quick in shipping, but it's just packaged really well. I mean, these, you could actually use these for some other type of precious material if you wanted to reuse these well padded boxes. These are sealed. They're mixed with a little bit of water and alcohol to keep them from getting any bacteria in them. So there's a flushing procedure. You'll put however many, if you want 1, 2, 4, whatever. You'll flush them at least twice and then dispose that water and not consume it, and then you should be good to go. So I use 2 for mine. The issue I was having was in the winter time, I would start to get a little bit of mold on them. Just, I don't know why, it's just where we live. We get like condensation on the ceiling and the cold, most outer facing walls and ceiling, and just anything that's left out, a lot of times will get a little mold on it, just like light mold. And these would get that. Now, they worked perfectly all summer. It was last winter, and I actually had to quit using them for a while. Then I used them again, and then that happened again this year. But what I do is I get a toothbrush, and I'll just like every day go over it so nothing builds up. And then if there is any significant amount, I'll take the whole thing out and use not the rough sponge, but like the other ones that have like that plastic mesh pad to clean them up, and you take them out and do it real good. I don't have to do that too often now. So again, I'm not going to show these because they just make a mess. I'm going to do it over the sink. What I might do is take the old one and cut it in half. Now, I know that I remember seeing another video on YouTube of someone doing that, and I do have a reciprocating saw. So if it'll cut and not ruin my blade, I might try it. I just want to see what a very used one, again, it's over 2 years old. I think the one in that video was also a used one, but I want to see if it's I just don't remember too well. Just want to see what it looks like, if there's any mold on the inside or any deposits from just all the stuff that's filtered, if you can see that. If not, or if I can't cut it, I won't include that. But if I can, and it works out, I will include that. Okay, so I ended up being able to cut this in half. I just used the metal end or metal blade. I had no issue. I was pretty impressed with, again, I think I saw a video before of this, but I was kind of worried like maybe there'd be a whole bunch of mold or something inside of this, or just like ton of sediment. Now, I did rinse it out, a bunch of black water came out, but I would still say it was clean, just simply because in the collection part, the water, you can still see it was obviously clean. And I think a lot of that was probably just the dust and debris from cutting it. But you can see, I was kind of concerned there might be some other type of material or something that would hold mold, but this looks pretty robust.
Now, this type seems maybe a little bit stronger, and I think this, you can see here, I can kind of scrape it a little bit easier. So they might be slightly different components to these, but either way it's more or less the same thing. So for what that's worth, again, this is 2 years, a little over 2 years, and it's not like disgusting or anything. So I would have to say you do pay a lot more for these compared to most other filters, but I do think it's worth the money.
Still say, since I didn't fill it every day, I know I'm well under 1,000 gallons, but the fact that they made it that far, really impressive. Now, some of that might be just our water quality to begin with, although I don't think it is that great, but I don't think it's Flint, Michigan either. So again, I got this other one. I'll just leave it here. I do have a few questions. If you use these, how many do you run? You just use one? You use all four? How long did they last for you? Again, for me, I didn't have any issues with taste or anything. It's just that they would not filter anymore. You could fill it up and like you'd let like 2-3 days go and it might go down an inch. So they were completely shot. But before that, they were still doing pretty good. It just kind of happened all out of nowhere. So I got a little over 2 years, and again, maybe filling it the whole way up every day, every other day, just depended. So I like to know how they're working out for other people. I know there's like, I think Berkey and their Pro Pure or something. There's other brands. Just what do you think of AlexaPure? So I just like to know how these worked out and if there's any time frame to how long they did work. But beyond that, I'll leave it here. Just kind of talking about my experience. So thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one. Have a good one.